Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, it's terrific news. T20 international squad for New Zealand cricket has been announced for their tour to Pakistan, and it's interesting because Michael Bracewell is going to lead the side as the skipper, and the squad also includes Finn Allen, Mark Chapman, Josh Clarkson, Jacob Duffy, Dean Foxcroft, Ben Lister, Cole McConney, Adam Milne, Jimmy Neesham, Willie O'Rourke, Tim Robinson, Ben Sears, Tim Seifert, Ish Sudhi, and of course we're expecting certain debuts or maiden call-ups in this series as well. So interesting that New Zealand has gone with a squad that of course they're looking to develop some future combinations. They've not I think gone with the traditional squad that they're used to announcing. So I think it will be very interesting how this series proceeds and what squad Pakistan announces, because in our part of the world we don't have that culture of giving somebody an opportunity in a series. We try to play mostly our permanent combinations or our prime combinations. That's what we do. So we'll discuss that in detail and we'll try to explore what Pakistan should be doing as far as this is concerned as well. Then we move on to the West Indies women's tour to Pakistan. Pakistan women's cricket team's training camp is underway. West Indies women's team is to arrive in Pakistan. They'll be landing in Karachi on the 14th of April, and of course series includes 3 1 internationals and 5 T20 internationals as well at this time. So we'll discuss that in detail as well. Then we talk about the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, where England cricketer, this is now developing news, Ben Stokes has opted out of the World Cup. He wants to regain his fitness and focus on himself as well. Now this is a remarkable decision, and this I think highlights the respect and the importance and the security that is given to players around the world, and this is a model I think that should, even from the players' perspective, I think you have to be brave enough, wise enough, and you have to be a staunch believer in ethics to make a decision where you feel that you're not giving your 100% and you're not available for the team. In our part of the world, we even were ready to go with 50% of what we are. So I think from the players' perspective, it is an exemplary decision that Ben Stokes has taken. Its impact on the English cricket team is something that we will be discussing, and I'm sure they're going to miss out on that. But then again, their bench strength is really strong. They'll be able to mix and match players very quickly. Sri Lanka's tour to Bangladesh. Sri Lanka have beaten Bangladesh by 192 runs in the second test match. They have of course won the 2-match series by 2-0, chasing 511. Bangladesh were bowled out for 318. Now somebody asked me today what the problem with Bangladesh cricket is, and I said it starts from their cricket board, players liking, disliking. It's politicized all over. And then I think the biggest question right now is that for Bangladeshi cricket fans, their cricket board, their structure, they just don't see a team which is apart from Saqib Al Hasan. That is really disappointing, because when you start investing in one individual, cricket is a team sport, and you need to start focusing on the post-Saqib era as well now. So they expect him to do the batting, the bowling, the fielding, the captaincy. They expect him to be their brand ambassador, expect him to produce international. Our question relies the same: how many international games has he won? So I think over the years, India had Sachin, Pakistan had its own share of heroes as well. We talk about the Wasim Waqar era. We then can talk about Yusuf and Yunus leading the batting charge. Recently, Babar Azam is the superstar of Pakistan. Shahid Afridi has enjoyed that as well. Bangladesh have missed out on that superstar era or somebody for the youngsters to look up to. That's why I think they were forced to invest in Saqib, and that's where the trouble is. Because the way associate teams are coming up, I think Test cricket should be taken seriously now if you're losing at home. But for Sri Lanka, remarkable job, especially Kamindu Mendes. I think he's going to be the next player for Sri Lanka. Tremendous batting ability, talent is there. Technically, he's so good. Something that we were missing from Sri Lanka cricket is finally back as well. So we'll talk about that in detail. And then of course we move on and we discuss Saudi Professional League. Al Nassr have beaten Abha 8-0, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 5 goals. And we also discuss Al Hilal defeating Al Akhdod by 3-0 as well. They won their 31st consecutive victory as well. So we'll discuss all of this on the show right after this short break. Stay tuned to Sports Extra. And welcome back. We discuss things in detail now. Joining us on the show, first of all, is our sports expert. He's a cricket commentator, international broadcaster and presenter, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm very well, thank you.
Great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Always a pleasure.
Right, Asif. initially, once you see the squad that has been announced, what would you like to add? And obviously, I think New Zealand have really set a great precedent. They've done it in the past as well, but this time they've gone with a complete, I think, outlook and a plan to invest in the future for New Zealand cricket.
Well, rightly said, Ahmed, and right before the show, this is what we guys were discussing. The selector of New Zealand cricket team, Sam Wells, according to him, that 5-6 key players, including the skipper Kane Williamson, Devon Conway, Trent Boult, and Lockie Ferguson, Matt Henry, Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips, Rachin Ravindra, Santner, all of the teams, all of them, they're missing in the squad. Why? Because just they're playing IPL. Even then, if you see that the squad which they have announced, they clearly saying that we're giving chances to the youngster. It's a bilateral series, and we are preparing ourselves for the upcoming T20 World Cup. And let's suppose if they will get a couple of debuts as well in this T20 series against Pakistan. If you talk about the Bracewell, this is how the system works. We would have to understand that the Bracewell didn't play any international match since March 2023. And he was playing domestic cricket. He was playing their leagues as well. And then they brought him as a skipper and giving this opportunity to show your talent as a skipper, that how good leader you could be, how the leadership qualities you could show among the team. And they're coming with with a young side, and let's see what happened in Pakistan. I think that if you are not giving chance in this bilateral series to Rizwan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Fakhr Zaman, and a couple of more players, and if you're giving them rest, even Iftikhar and so on, even Naseem Shah, I think that you will see that the entire media of Pakistan, they will start criticizing on Pakistan Cricket Board. This is the problem. You'd have to take some bold decisions. You'd have to give chances to your youngsters who are performing in the domestic structure. And in this scenario, I must applaud the effort for the New Zealand cricket side, that all of their important players, their key players, even if they're busy in the IPL and they're not coming, even if they were not busy in the IPL, I'm quite sure that they had given chance to the same young side. Why we don't take the bold decisions? Why we are, frightened of the defeat? Even if your main players are playing like Babar Azam, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, or if I could take some more names, Shadab Khan or whatsoever. But in this bilateral series, Ahmed, I would like to see 5-6 new faces, and I want them to play all 5 matches against New Zealand, give them some confidence, and they have talent. Now this is the time, if you're giving them all the opportunities, I'm quite sure that you will get some good talent like Hasibullah, Saim Ayub, and Arif Yaqub. Bring them.
Absolutely.
Why you're not giving them chances? Even Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely.
So they have performed well recently in the domestic circuit in PSL, and now this is the best time that the young side of New Zealand is coming. Give chances to your youngsters.
Certainly. Ali Mehdi, how would you analyze this recently announced squad for New Zealand cricket for their tour to Pakistan?
Well, the best thing about it, it's a good mix of both experience and youth. You have, a youth over there too, but then you have experienced campaigners. You talk about Mark Chapman, who's been playing white ball cricket for a while too. He's now plays for 50 over cricket and T20 cricket too. Tim Seifert, the veteran Ish Sodhi is over there. Then at the same time, you have other players also. But the most important thing is over here that they're giving an opportunity over here to the youngsters over there who've been performing very well in the New Zealand League, in the New Zealand T20 League. And that's where merit really comes into the mix. They know that majority of the players have actually gone and are playing in the Indian Premier League. And because of that, now they're giving an opportunity to their youngsters too. And unlike last year, what they've done this year when they came for a 50 over format and also for some T20s, what they've done this year, there's a good blend. There's a good mix of players too. You have the experienced campaigners who will guide these youngsters too. So it just shows that they have a proper direction over here, and they know that, going forward for that T20 World Cup, they have a plan. They're foresighted enough, and they know know that, we really want to give our youngsters a chance, but at the same time, they need to be guided by the experienced campaigners. So I think it's going to be a very closely fought series too. And this time, because New Zealand has been coming regularly to Pakistan, let's not forget this is their third international series in the space of 16 months. So they know the conditions very well. They've adapted very well. This is more like home to them because they've been here for the past, this is their third visit over here. For that reason, I actually feel that this is going to be very closely fought series too. And it'll be interesting what squad Pakistan puts up, but I think an excellent decision by the New Zealand Cricket Board.
Absolutely. Asif, the concept of trying new combinations in Pakistan is a bit messed up. I think we're delusional because what the previous setup did was they in the so-called name of trying new players, they rested Mohammad Haris and they took a couple of players to the tour to New Zealand. But what happened over there was something very interesting, which I have always criticized, is that, for example, if you want to try new combinations, then follow the model of what teams around the world do. If they want to develop 6 to 7 or 4 to 5 openers, they will try those players on the opening position. They won't try somebody like Saibzada Farhan to play at number 5 where he's not used to playing, Hasibullah at number 6 where he's not used to playing, Haris at number 4 or 5 where he's not used to playing. So if you want to take talent and if you want to improvise, then you try those talent on the numbers which they're used to playing. That's how you will develop bench strength, and that's why I think it's important to understand that it's not just about selecting them for tours or playing them in 1 or 2 games, but you got to give them a consistent run on the position where they're used to performing as well.
Oh, really important. This is what I had said earlier, that give them full opportunity, 5 matches. You have best chance right before the World Cup that you're testing your young side and your youngsters who had performed in the domestic circuit and PSL as well. One thing, Ahmed, let's relate the news of Ben Stokes with this scenario. It's really important that the Ben Stokes, do remember World Cup 2019, the hero of the English side, the champion side, Ben Stokes. Recently, he has done some phenomenal jobs in T20. They are the defending champions, and he had played the winning shot against Pakistan at MCG. Now the current scenario, he said that I'm not fit. I'm concentrating on the test cricket, and I think that I'm not able to perform well in T20 World Cup for England. This is called that how you have given confidence to your side and to your players, and no more insecurities that if I'm not in the side and if someone is performing well, so I won't be the hero. These kind of insecurities, I think that only we could see in Pakistan, maybe in Sri Lanka, or maybe the countries like this, especially in Pakistan I will talk about. Let's talk about this series. And let's imagine if Rizwan is not playing, even Babar Azam not playing, even Shaheen, what will happen? We'll give chance to a player, a youngster, who could lead the side. But I think this is as I said earlier, that the Pakistani media, the Twitter, the Instagram, Facebook, everyone will start criticizing over the Pakistan Cricket Board that why Babar is not there. See, Babar is really important for Pakistan. But if Babar is not there and if he is taking rest for upcoming T20 World Cup, and if you are giving chance to a youngster as skipper or as an opener, I think that then it means that you are giving strength to the players who are sitting on the bench. So this kind of thinking you must I think inject on your society in Indian Pakistan Cricket Board. If you are not coming up with these kind of approaches, that you cannot grow, Ahmed.
Ali Mehdi, what would you like? This is a very interesting argument where we've taken players but we've not played them on the right numbers. They've eventually not scored up to their own abilities, and then we've discarded them from the system.
No, I completely agree with Asif Bhai. I don't really need to add much, but one thing I have to say is that, these experienced players, they have to willingly do it. The problem over here is that these other countries, we are talking about Ben Stokes, and then even New Zealand Cricket Board and other cricket boards for that matter, the senior players always say, okay, fine, give an opportunity to these youngsters, let them actually have a go at having them. Everything has to be based on merit, but the problem over here is that you have insecurities amongst the senior players too. The senior players say that no, we want to play no matter what happens. We want to play at our designated positions. Look, you're playing for your country over here. What's most important is that you give everybody, there should be equal chance for everybody for that matter. Youngsters, it's just a home series. After that, you have a 3-match away series, which you've already covered earlier this week in Ireland. And then after that, a 4-match series against the defending champions, England, and then off to the T20 World Cup. What it does is that that if you do give a chance, if the big senior players do not play over here and the youngsters come in for that mix, then it'll diversify that pool. It'll give the selectors so many options. It'll give them headaches, and that's so important over here, that you give these selectors a headache. You know, what are they being paid for? Because you know, you need to give these youngsters a chance. If they perform well, then see on merit who are the best players to play for Pakistan, because at the end of the day, this is for Team Pakistan, and we really, if our resources are used well, we have a really good shot at winning that T20 World Cup.
Well, I think a lot relies on that as well, but it shows a lot of character what Ben Stokes does. I mean, to accept the fact that a World Cup, your nation is playing, and you know it's going to, you could probably be a misfit and destroy the entire combination and cause the team an embarrassment in the World Cup. So, you know, he was wise enough to think about that. But then again, Asif, it comes down to the security and the respect that is given to a player or their decision as well. I mean, just take an example of Mohammad Abbas going on various platforms and saying that he's disappointed that he's not being given opportunity. And this is an individual who gave priority to the most important format of the game, that was Test cricket.
I think, Ahmed, it's not only the story of Mohammad Abbas. If you see that from last maybe a decade or two, that we are observing that we are bringing youngsters, giving them a couple of opportunities, and after that, thank you very much, no one knows that where are they. The example of Mohammad Musa, that right after the PSL, you have given him chance in the Test series, and now even he, if I don't know either he is in the plans of the Pakistan Cricket Board or not, he was quite young. So I think that this is the problem of your thinking, your approach, and your management as well. And then of course that Pakistan Cricket Board is suffering from last 2-3 years, you know, that keep changing their chairman and not giving full authorities to the chairman and full time. Now Mohsin Naqvi, the chairman Cricket Board, is there, and I'm quite sure that if he'll complete his tenure, and we could see some betterment in next coming 2-3 years. And these kind of insecurities, why the players like Ben Stokes, everyone knows that Ben Stokes is a hero, either he's playing or not, because he has done when he got the opportunity, when the team requires, he has proved himself. Yes, I'm the best, and I had done for my nation. Either it's the Asia series, either it's a Test cricket, either it's T20 cricket, either it's ODI cricket. Anywhere he had performed so well. But I'll take a couple of examples in Pakistan, that and the example of Azhar Ali. Lastly, that I think we have begged, sir, please now go. That was the scenario in Pakistan. He didn't realize that I am not playing well.
He still wanted to play.
So in that scenario, Ahmed, how could you bring youngsters? For me, it looks really, really sad that we're not giving, you know, proper place and space to the youngsters.
Ali Mehdi, I mean, it's not the first time English cricket have set an example. And for players, particularly if we study their model, who want to focus on Test cricket, or particularly as a skipper for the Test side in England, we've seen it with Andrew Strauss, particularly focused on Test cricket. Sir Alistair Cook focused on Test cricket. I mean, Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad. Sorry?
Michael Vaughan.
Yes, Michael Vaughan. Prime examples.
Yeah.
Marcus Trescothick to a time, you know, Ian Bell wanted to focus. So there have been great examples of players in English cricket history who have focused on Test cricket and have really, you know, stuck to the technicalities of the game as well.
No, I completely agree, and that's where we need to learn. You know, you have to see what is best suited for your game, whether it's Test cricket, T20 cricket, or 50-over cricket. And that's where I think that whether you criticize, you know, the English Cricket Board, the players, whatever, they've actually set the role model. They're role models. They've set the example too. And you could say also the same for Indian cricket. We have Pujara also as a keen player who's only stuck to Test cricket, and he's done so well for them. And Rahane later on in his career too, Ajinkya Rahane. So you know, you need to actually see which format is best suited for you, and that for that matter, you know, I think why I come back to Ben Stokes, I think it's so important. He's won everything with England. Ahmed, he's won the T20 World Cup in the FCG. He won the World Cup with England at Lord's Cricket Ground. But now his prime focus is on red ball cricket. He wants two things. He wants to win the Ashes, and the other thing is that he also wants to do well in the World Test Championship. Now, the World Test Championship is actually going to be played every 2 years. Is going to be played in a ground in England. The next this one will be played at Lord's Cricket ground. And going forward, I think the cycle works that it's going to be played in one of the grounds of England. So he set the right example. He knows that his body can take much more. He wants to focus on the longer format, and so be it. He, that's why he knows that he needs to follow the example of James Anderson and Stuart Broad. And I think that's how he's going to actually lengthen his career. You need to lengthen your career, and if you want to perform well in one format, then it's good because you'll have a specialized role. And because he's the test captain, that's why he focuses and takes this role so seriously, because he can perform as a test captain and at the same time perform with the ball in the bat. And he wants to come back and as a bowler too. If he only focuses on red ball cricket, then I think that he can really lengthen his career, and then England can can also target those top 2 positions for the World Test Championship.
Certainly. I think that's a very valid point that both Asif and Ali Mehdi make. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the show. I think the fact is that you really got to set an example yourself as well. Most of the times it's not just up to the cricket board, it's up to you as an individual as well to be honest, not just with your nation, but with yourself as well. I've got to tell myself, if I'm not fit enough to play, that there is a problem, and I would probably, the board will still ask me that no, we want you to play, but I would probably end up causing the team to be troubled in their combinations and eventually cost them the game or a tournament. I think you have to be very wise to take that decision. On that note, that's all we have time for. From me and the entire team of Sports Extra, it's goodbye for now.